Alright, so it's time to dig into a franchise I've been itching to take a look at. And, well, last night Dave McRae did a live stream, his Two Guys and Some Bullshit live stream, where they did a commentary they were watching Final Destination, the original one. And I thought, you know what? I'll do that. But I ended up watching the two Psych movies last night after Raw, so I wasn't able to, properly do this till this morning. And I'm not going to review the Psych movies, not yet anyway, as they're heavily embedded into the show's stories. This the first movie has connections throughout the show. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to review each episode of the show like I'm doing with, Supernatural and stuff for each season. Whatever I'm going to do, I haven't figured out yet. But we're going to talk about Final Destination here that came out in 2000. And stars Devon Sawa, Ali Larter, Kerr Smith, Amanda Detmer, Sean William Scott, Kristen Cloak, and a cameo appearance from the one and only Tony Todd. Okay, so this came out. I didn't see this when this first came out. It wasn't until after the second one came out that my grandma got these, and I borrowed them, and I watched them, and I was just like, because the concept intrigued me. Kid gets a premonition when he's on a plane that the plane's going to explode. And then, afterwards, death starts coming after each and every one of them. That's a cool premise. And you think, okay, that's a cool premise for one film. There's 5 films in this franchise, and they've somehow figured out how to tell a story 5 different times. It's basically kind of the same thing. Sort of. People hold the first 2 on high regard. I think that the third one is alright, and I really like the 5th one. The 4th one, take it or leave it. But that's just my all-around feelings of the franchise. For the first one, though, watching this, first of all, while I was watching this, I looked stuff up on Wikipedia and stuff, and I found out, and this makes a lot of sense if you think about it, I found out this was actually a spec script for an episode of The X-Files that they passed on and turned into a movie. That makes a lot of sense, considering the fact that this is the only film where the FBI, except for maybe the 5th one, which is not on that thing, but the FBI is present throughout the film. And it makes sense if you think that those were supposed to be Mulder and Scully, and they refined the script and put them towards the background when it was going to be an X-Files story. It makes a lot of sense to me. Because, throughout, you got a cop in the second one. Nothing is done in the third one. No cops. They show up, but they're not really important. 4th one, not really. And in the 5th one, you have an FBI agent who's sadly not Keanu Reeves. But I'm just saying that when, because I always thought it's weird that the FBI are present in this one and on the other ones. And that's because it was originally an X-Files script. Makes a lot of sense to me. Also, this one feels the most X-Files, now that I think about it. It feels like they could have done a show about this. Some kid has a premonition. Plane was going to explode. They could have done an episode on this. I don't know if they ever did, but they could have. The cast they have are all those millennial cast from movies that were around. You got Kerr Smith from Dawson Creek, right? Devon Sawa was in Night of the Twisters. Ali Larter was in Varsity Blues. Sean William Scott, year before this, was in American Pie. I mean, come on. You even got Brendan Fair, who was, whatever, in Roswell on the CW, or WB at the time. But I'm just saying, a lot of those early 90s cast members. Now, so the deaths in this, they're pretty good deaths. That premonition scene that Alex has where he's just horrifying. It's not the most graphic one in here, but it's horrifying when you think you're about to die and you wake up and you're panicking. Now, the death, so Todd's death is one where it looks like he committed suicide, and they believe that. But the one thing I've always asked is, how do they explain the shampoo? Because the thing is, he knocks over the bottle of shampoo. It's all over inside the thing. And we see that the water, or the death retracts the water, whatever. And there's soap, but there's still shampoo all over the thing in the bathtub. So how do they explain that? Did they explain it with, oh, he poured that all over the bathtub so that he can't, he can't say, I don't want to do this. He's going to die. Probably the most impactful death in this is Terry's death, because that bus she's like, you can just drop fucking dead. Bam! Bus hits her. And the truth about that is, they actually had to, test audiences freak the fuck out with that kill. So then they had to add that scene where Alex does the Alka-Seltzer and stuff, and they have a cool-off scene. They added that because of that. Very interesting. Also, you should know there's an alternate ending to this film, because there was a hidden subplot in which, about Clear getting pregnant. And the ending would have been different. I'll discuss that towards the end, but it would have been different, and it kind of makes sense with the way they look at the end of this film. But anyway, so, yeah, that's the most impactful death, the most memorable, and the quickest. I think in all, compared to George from the fourth one, it happens to him too. But I'm just, yeah, and the fact that they're all there. And why is Seann William Scott always on a fucking bike? I mean, he's got to be at least 18 in this, right? They're graduates. So, do you think, why would he have a bike? Also, they're in a French class, and not one of them knows any fucking French except for maybe Clear. They're a French class on the way to Paris for a trip. And there's, people speaking in French and stuff. And there's the fuck did he just say? They know nothing. They're just in it for the trip. That's it. And then, you get what you wanted, and now you're gonna die. I guess they make a big deal about how the departure time and Alex's birth date are the same. Maybe that's a sign. Who knows? I always thought it's Alex's mom's fault, because there's this tag on his luggage, and he said that it's for good luck, and she rips it off, and then this shit happens. So I'm like, it's Alex's mom's fault. Yeah. The Alex and Clear relationship, I think since they took out that pregnancy thing, there's really not much left in this film, to be honest. But it's alright for what they do. They play back and forth, it's confusing because she left the plane. She didn't get escorted out. She left the plane because she believes something was going on with Alex. And then she tells the FBI, well, I didn't believe him. I'm just did you really not believe him, or did you just making shit up now to throw off the FBI? I don't know. So, let's get to the brunt of this. So Alex finds out there's a pattern, because some lucky news station, lucky for him, shows the path to the explosion, that they could somehow figure out that it happened that way, I guess. And he finds out who's gonna die next. So he was, and when he goes to his teacher's house, he's arrested right away because he's snooping around, and she sees him. And then they let him go, and he goes right back there. And she's about to die. And it's this whole Rube Goldberg thing with she pours hot water for her tea into a porcelain cup, and then she pours that out, puts ice and stuff, and so it cracks, going all over the place, and then it drips. First of all, you would see that dripping out of your cup. I'm sorry, but you would. And then it drips on the computer, that explodes. She gets a piece stuck in her throat, and then through all this silly Three Stooges type stuff, she gets a knife stuck here. And Alex comes in just in time for there to be another explosion and a chair land and kill her. And then, like a fucking dumbass, he pulls the knife out and then realizes, oh shit, and then drops the knife and runs away. There's another explosion. And who happens to be outside? Seann William Scott is outside. So, of course, he reports this to the police. Okay, let's discuss something that I wanted to talk about. It's sort of a plot hole. And so, there's this twist where Alex reads this newspaper article. Like, at the beginning, he and Todd are sitting in different seats. And then there's these two hot girls in the class that want to sit next to each other, so they ask Alex to move out of the way. In the vision, he does. And technically, in real life, he does too, because he freaks out, jumps, moves, and goes over where Todd is, and then freaks out. Right? Well, this whole twist relies on the fact that, because according to the path, he's the next one. But because his original spot was in the back, Clear's actually next, not him, because he didn't move. But he did move. And, like, even though in the vision he moved, that's the original plan, right? So he would have died before Clear anyway. But then, all of a sudden now, oh, I didn't move. But you did move. They still sat there. It's a bit of a plot hole for me because it always bugs me. No one ever talks about it because it doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, I didn't move. So Clear's next. But you did move. And that's still where you would have sat on the plane had you not had the vision. So technically, it shouldn't have been her turn. It should have been your turn. Anyway, he goes to save her, but she's stuck in a car, and there's an electric cord, and he grabs it and gets thrown off. And then we cut to months later, and now Clear is blonde. They go to Paris, but Alex is still frustrated, right? And yeah, but here's the thing. In most of the other films, it doesn't take months for Death to come back around again. Sometimes it's like that. So why did Death wait months to come after them? And Alex is next, but he gets saved by Carter, and Carter gets hit by a sign, which upside down looks like 180, and that's how it ends. But the original ending was actually different. The original ending actually had Clear and Carter still alive, and she gives birth to a baby, which she names Alex. Alex actually dies from the explosion. It's different, but Test Scientists didn't like it, I guess, so they reshot it. I don't know. I think it would have been a fight ending, but hey, we continued the franchise, and they found a way to kind of connect that. So, yeah. Overall, this movie is pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite film franchises to watch, so I'm excited to go through these. So, stay tuned for more. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.